Others do not act, but they're more or less thinking the same thing. Group of silent people who don't speak. They know that. They can't compete with the translation program. Take a look at them. Then open the jump. Space to pursue raw non-fake. He's not in a hurry. Because he has a lot of time now. I'm not going blind now. In a state of sleeplessness. No rest and no food. Even if you're a powerful mutant. I can't stand it. There's a lot of supplies. There are also military-grade psychotropic drugs, can be used. Next, he's starting to compare endurance to non-falsification. Fluid expansion and indigestion disappear from the battlefield one by one. The others breathed a sigh of relief. Look out from the shelter. The police chief looked in the direction of the translation. Finally, he became the biggest winner again. If the translation actually absorbs the original of the non-stomach, it's possible he'll directly rise to the rank of cylinder press. Like that, Zhang Yi will also become the most powerful mutant in the whole Jiangnan area. The people here can only admire. The police chief remembered before. The captain invited him to join the team. But now he's really. Maybe they want to climb on our heads. Explosives expert IP Kong spoke up. But why do we feel it all? Everything is as planned. He had it ready before. We've all become pawns in his hands. Used by him. IP Kong's eyes looked sad. Sorry for the captain. Maybe he could have lived a little longer. The universe is their spiritual pillar. His death. It was a huge shock to every member of the team. The school is silent, and everyone gets sad. But they can't afford to translate. If there is no translation, maybe the army will live a little longer. As everyone is clear, he will also die soon after. Death on the battlefield. Along with Shining One last time before he died. Maybe it's not a bad thing for him. The second-generation police chief IP Kong laughed bitterly. Being used is also inevitable. Who says they're a level higher than us? The chief counsel thought. He's got a big vision. They are used by others, but as long as the results are good. Achieving their initial goal. He is not jealous of the disease. The opposite. I am grateful to Zhuo for doing everything. Because without a translation program, they won't discover the secrets of the sermon. Mission failed, did not say. It could leave a major disaster. For the whole Jiangnan area. Even for the whole country. Not hiding at the same time. You really don't want to mess with Zhang Yi. You are currently blind. The side effects of hypotension are very serious. She needs to find a place to heal. She has 10 different abilities. There are many kinds of healing powers. You believe you have enough time. I will find a cure for myself. But behind you, a pair of eyes in the dark watching her. Don't give me a chance to rest. Even though we can't see, I don't know if Zhang is there. He's like a vulture, waiting for your death. The epidemic is not alarmed. His patience makes people angry. He always maintained the right distance. Just quietly observe the whole thing. Whenever I don't want to stop to rest, he's using a bullet that starts the bullet to force you to keep fighting. If you are not so angry, find him to fight. He will not hesitate to run away. Every time it's spent like this, negative wound of the original is not fake. It's getting more serious. I am not angry. It's really a bad flag. And Trong Yip just chased Theo. Just got food in heterospatial Ra to replenish energy. It's like an act of defiance. The fluid injected itself with stimulants. This military stimulant drug, it's not just physical strength, it also makes the nervous system excited, allowing him to not need to rest for 3 days. But nights. This big hunt. Once he waited until the end, he will also receive a huge reward. A primordial version of the cylinder squeezing mutant. It's the flower of 10 mutants. At that time it was not wobbly. Continued to wrestle in the snow wind. She's disoriented. Her eyes are completely gray-white. No longer see anything. We can only rely on our instincts to escape. On the second day, she stumbled upon a department store, buried deep in the snow. She punched a hole trying to get inside. You're almost out of energy. So she goes inside looking for food. You don't feel any hope. When dimly visible, there's a lot of food here. As long as you eat, take a break, there is also a chance to deal with the enemy. But when you're not going inside, a missile fired correctly without error hit that spot, burned all the supplies. I didn't feel emotionally numb soon. It's like facing this situation when you're hungry. Your mood is getting worse. I told myself that one day and one night. No eating, no drinking, no rest. She turned her head, her gray-white eyes looking away. Standing on a mountain. In the rocket launcher handle. Smiling full of challenges. You have no expression on your face. She waved her hand through the fierce blizzard. It's like destroying a mountain. But no matter how the blizzard hits, you can't access the epidemic. In front of him, 2 giant space doors open to protect him. 1,000 things cannot be entered. The translation from the gentle. I didn't give up SAO. Everyone around you is dead. Your parents are dead. More than 1,000 of them are religious. He was also killed by you. You are alive and keeping your humanity. Even if you have it all, you are also alone. Everyone died for you. There is not a bit of regret in your heart. You deserve to die, the most is you. You are not, quietly listening to Zhang Yi's words, but didn't respond. You create a snowstorm, and keep running away. Watch Theo in no hurry chasing behind. He is now very confident. So you can run. See how long you can stand it. I didn't lose direction. Like a headless fly. Rely entirely on instinct to run away. He is not in a hurry either, because everything is under his control. To the 3rd day, she came to the border of the Tianhai city. You are very weak right now. My face is whiter than snow. She hadn't eaten for 3 days. Every time she finds food, she's destroyed by Zhang. You can't stop to rest. Because you know Zhang Yi is lurking in the dark. Aim for your head. Despair nothing can match. This feeling, it's like a blunt knife cutting into the flesh. If you don't run into a mutant stronger than you, they were killed immediately. Maybe you don't suffer like that. But unfortunately, you've met a tough guy like Zhang Yi. You don't suddenly remember Zhang Yi at first. How good it would be if you were alive. You don't stagger into a snowy mountain area. Slowly climb up. The movement is still behind. Keep a safe distance and observe. See the condition of the non-stomach. He knows that he is not far away. Hands to the final victory. Not really. I felt the cold blow through my face. It's a little cold, but it doesn't bother you. You feel too sleepy. Even though the wind is cold, it can't stop you from falling into a trance. Many times she could not open her eyelids. But every time you really want to fall asleep. A bullet that starts the bullet comes from a distance. Aim straight for your head. You don't tell yourself, I'm so tired, I'm so tired. You are desperate and pitiful. It's like a young girl looking for protection. You don't put your hands in front of your chest praying, God forbid. I'm not your most loyal follower. Please save me. Even if there was no response, she kept talking. Why didn't you give me instructions? What did I do wrong? But all that we do. It's about creating a clean world. Not dirty. Zhang Yat first, what should we do now? Can you tell me, please? Right now, you're no longer like the head of the cult. Noble and sacred. It's just a weak girl. She saw many familiar faces appear. Her parents smiled and waved to her. Come to the parents. Together, we go to heaven. Then Zhang Xiaofei told her seriously. Wake up, wake up. The image in front of you doesn't change. A gentle woman appeared, eyes lovingly looking at you. Are you okay in death? When I see that face, unconsciously flowing tears falling from the dry eyes of the naked Ra, you exclaimed the ceiling like a billion. Sweet Ru singing fluttered by her ears. Go to sleep, honey. Go to sleep, little princess. I can't take it anymore. I don't feel lonely and hungry. Your body seems to be lifeless. Ru's song makes you shake almost down. You remember the first Zheng, and Zhang Yi's words echoed in her hands. Give it up, give it up. All your loved ones are lost. All who love you die for you. What does your life mean? You tell yourself. If you die, you'll see them again. You can't stop thinking about Zhang Yat first. I am hungry, what should I do now? It's good to have you. The danger of not resting your head on a tree. Then slowly close your eyes. Remote observation of Zhang epidemic. I don't feel like falling asleep. Then raise the gun. Aim straight at it and shoot it. The bullet stopped a meter away. He swayed a few times and fell into the snow. The surprise chapter. Not dead yet. So we're going to shoot a few more shots, and it's going to work. He is carefully watching you. But dare not come close. Wounded animals are always the most dangerous. If you're not really going to die. Her last counterattack. It will definitely be strong. The epidemic did not panic. Use all the bullets in your hand. He took out a gun. Sniper from space abilities, and aim for the whole thing. He's targeting the body, not the head. Because the power of this weapon is so great. If it hits the head, it will completely destroy it. Will affect Zhang's ability too. Original absorption of raw material does not decrease. After a few minutes, shoot again. But 7 failed. I can't fake this attack. Lots and energy. Quietly collect the gun and continue to observe from a distance. I didn't lose consciousness. Your defense is based entirely on instinct. The epidemic did not dare to approach and shoot one shot at a time. Time goes by one day, one night. The danger was finally exhausted by the plague, so strong that it's exhausting. Large diameter sniper bullet. It went through her body. To be more precise, it tore her body apart. This scene looks cruel. A young girl torn in two. But dealing with a person with a disability, it's so strong and so scary. The plague had no other choice. On the battlefield, can't hold back any affection. And that's how it ends. It can't be considered a lack of humanity for her, because she's the one standing after the biggest chaos in Tianhai City. The last patient was determined not to be dead. His eyes were full of blood. He didn't sleep for 4 days and 3 nights. If you don't rely on drugs, now he will be the same. Lie down on the ground. It's even worse. Rise up the epidemic, slowly move towards non-fake raw. He doesn't want anything to happen. Chapter carefully observe around. To confirm no, someone chasing you. Even if someone comes here, he's not afraid. His spirit though tired, but his abilities are still plentiful. Even the gods can bury them. After the death of the army and not, no one in Tianhai City. It could be his opponent. Next step. As long as he absorbs the essence of the original, he will become stronger. No one matches. Speak to yourself. We don't really care how strong we are. But if you have the power, it is the only way to protect your life. We will pursue stronger power. Step-by-step translation. Go in front of no one. He was very careful throughout the process. As he approached the tattered girl in front of him, take a deep breath. Put your right hand on your forehead. A second after a giant force. It can't be described in words. His hands poured into his body. Eye-opening fluid. He glowed from his right eye shining. It even brightens the surrounding space. At the same time in his left eye, there was also a faint and profound light. I don't know how long. The fluid has been absorbed. Heterosexual, of non-fake Ra. He felt his power become stronger. From every side, he's all received a boost at an epic level. Even the simplest space door. His defensive ability. It is also significantly enhanced. His perception of space forces also become more subtle and detailed. Expand translation. Slowly absorbing all the power of the non-fake Ra. However, there is one thing that Zhang did not know. Because of all of her extra energy, it's all robbery. It doesn't really belong to her. She just upgraded to Fklon not long ago. The original has not been consolidated. Had to go through a big battle. That hurt her original self so badly. So the translation only absorbs a small part of it. The original of the original does not decrease, but this part has gone beyond than any Delta-class mutant in Tianhai City. The next chapter needs to be done, is to make this force your own. He closed his eyes. Feel the transformation that this force brings. Then he slowly opened his hand. A twinkling light appeared in the palm of his hand. It's like a spark. Then quickly expand. turned into a clump of black material. It's like fire, but it's like thunder. The strange tire explosion echoed endlessly. To quickly control this capacity, with 2 hands, it eventually turns into an ink-black field. Expand translation. I don't feel the certainty of this power. He quickly threw this tissue away. Black tissue field through space. But only a moment later, a mass of black matter erupting from that location turned into a giant black sphere. It's over 1,000 meters in diameter. It fell down a distant mountain and quietly went inside. When the black sphere disappears, it left a big circular hole on the side of the mountain. The translator said to himself, "This is the power of space." When you get this ability, he naturally understood its use. Space can swallow everything. It's the ascension of the gods. The damage is even worse. And power is even more terrifying. He said to himself that if he combined it with the gravity field, he would use it. Is there anyone in this world that we can't kill? Look at your right hand. He even felt it. This force can help him overcome the concept of human beings hold the power of life and death. A person who suddenly receives powerful power, it will keep his soul excited. But he told himself to hold back. There are too many strong people in this world. We can't always be right by ourselves. Otherwise, our complacency will lead us to destruction. You don't pretend to be a living example. When I remember the power of terror, that the armed forces exploded before death, and the image is not raw. Real control 10 kinds of heterosexual. It's easy to kill other people. In Tianhai City, the nurse felt she needed to calm down. More than the military ever mentioned. In this world, there are other hair-pressing mutants. It can kill people thousands of miles away. To expand the thought, the world is still full of danger. We must always be vigilant. He smiled with satisfaction. But at least for now, even if we encounter mutants that are stronger than us, self-defense is not a problem. He squeezed his fist, his eyes filled with confidence. Despite facing the super-level monsters of the area, Jiang Nam is not afraid either. Not because he's arrogant. It's because of Jiang Nun now. I will definitely try to attract him. Open the transmitter. Contact the king. King End. I am Zhang Jiwan, who was killed by me. We are safe. The wind seemed to breathe. After a few seconds, the view was good. Trong translated further. Where are you? The situation of forces in Tianhai City and the raw SAO investigation team. During 4 days by night's chase, the movement focused all its energy on. Not really. No contact with family. Now it's over. But in the Tianhai City, there's still some work to be done. The king continued, Nguyen Din Hai is dead. But his assistant, sealing static drilling, still alive, and brought the rest back to the $1 million base. The situation of other houses is similar. Like the investigation squad that went to the bar. They're seriously injured, especially when the enemy looks like he's going to die. They're resting at the base. We are at home waiting for you to return. Zhang Yi nodded well. We'll talk when we get back. Other forces can't create any more major disorders. After this battle, the whole city of Tianhai, it's almost completely weakened. 5 great forces now accept them. Fighting members of other forces. They're almost all dead. There are only a few mutants left. From now on, they no longer pose any threat. For Trong Dui, About the investigation They're the people that Zhang's most interested in. Zhang Yi took the snow car from space. It turns on autopilot and returns to its hiding place. The car speeding through the snow took him to his shelter. No, he's back. Everyone is waiting in the living room. Everyone's eyes are on the door waiting. Soon he came home. Just opened the door and walked in. There was a sense of peace that made him feel comfortable. I saw the flower jump right on me. He meowed as if welcoming his master back. Mr. Trong, Yi, everyone's expression couldn't hide the excitement. The crisis in Tianhai City. They almost lost their lives. It was finally all recovered thanks to the power of translation. Everyone shouted out the translation chapter. Translation program, CACA. Big brother, everybody wants to hug the translation chapter. But Zhang Yi refused everyone's invitation to hug and shout. He waved, I just want to rest now. Let's all wait until we wake up and talk about it. Stimulant drugs like coffee help boost mood. But then there's fatigue. Back home, Zhangji's spirit has also reached its limit. He crossed the crowd and returned to his room. His room was as warm and beautiful as ever. White velvet legs covered in a wide bed. Stretched out like a lake. Warm yellow light. Outside the window, the snowflake is left. All is peaceful and peaceful. Take off your clothes. Lock the door and lie down on the bed. Now he just wants to get a good night's sleep. After the fatigue of the mortal war. Outside Kier, sleeping fluid for 2 days. When he woke up, he still felt dizzy and had back pain. He punched his back and said it alone. I slept for 2 days and still feel uncomfortable. The mind is dizzy. Back pain, shoulder fatigue. I can't do that next time. It's too much. It's inevitable. For being in a long fight. Very serious physical attrition. He's not an enhanced mutant. Being tired is also natural. But right now, his mood was as light and comfortable as ever. The plot of the snowflake has been foiled. And after he absorbed, the rest of the power is not there. His power has increased to an unprecedented level. Even if not by terrifying force, the danger never showed. But at least it's up to military standards. Smile softly. It's from another dimension. It's a sandwich, cheese beef and a glass of Coca-Cola. Eat well. And he's happy to say, what's the standard for squeezing hair? Now we're almost at this level. Just the force of destruction. No matter what. Tianhai City, no one can threaten us anymore. Change into another dress and open the door. Step out. As soon as the door opens, he bowed his head and saw a small cat. Sitting crouched by the door. Look up at the cat. In his eyes both worried and excited. It seems to be afraid that the epidemic won't wake up. But that's understandable. Not just cats, that the others in the hideout. I am also worried about the disease. If he doesn't wake up, they eat bran too. Laugh and clap. The little cat jumped on his lap and started rubbing very hard. After confirming the safe operation, the little cat closed its eyes silently, petting the cat's head. And step down into the living room. In the living room, people are sitting in the salon talking. They're worried about Zhang's health. At the same time, we're talking about the Mediterranean city. Anxious to say. This time, the survivors in the whole city of Tianhai. It's really small. Zhang Yi went down the stairs. The women saw him. There was immediate joy on their faces. The little girl rushed too. Zhang, you've finally woken up. I slept alone for 2 days and 2 nights. That's what worries us. How do you feel now? Is there any uncomfortable place in the body? Let me check your health carefully. Zhu Kai Ni plans to drag the epidemic to the medical room. But Trong Yi said you didn't say anything. Just a little tired. Take 2 days off, no problem. He went into the living room and sat down in the salon. While stroking the cat, he asked about the recent situation in Shanghai. He laughed and said, "Let me tell you the good news." Yang Han acted as a cybersecurity advisor in the hideout. They also monitor network activities of other forces. She has information, the most intelligence, about the forces in Tianhai City. So let's call everyone here. When I knew Trong Yi was awake, everybody's gathered here one by one. The first thing people care about, it's still Zhang's health condition. Zhang Yi saw everyone's worried looks. I feel warm inside. He said I was fine. It's very good to hear Zhang Yi say that. Everyone rest assured. Salary check asked, I didn't pretend to have been killed by you. Think a little and shake your head. I didn't kill you. She died on her own from mental and physical exhaustion. She's suffering from side effects from the demonic powers of the frontier force, plus the relentless pursuit of 4 days and 3 nights. He used up all his energy and died. When people hear from the mouth, the doctor confirmed the death of the patient. They all breathed a sigh of relief. The head of the snow. It's actually caused the death of so many people. I will always remember the fight that day. I always feel in my heart a sense of helplessness. The danger of not hanging in the air. Just hands out around. It's a terrifying sight of snow in the sky. Salary can't help but ask, but how did you kill her? Zhang Yi looked around everyone in the hall. He picked up the tea in front of him for a drink. Then slowly explained, I really mean it. The main thing that killed her is not my ability. It's her own power. She's absorbed too much of other people's abilities, which has included some side effects. The more it absorbs, the amount of toxins deposited is also greater as her power grows stronger. The toxins of this type of aptitude also become more intense. The translation is not clear, but he calculated. Use the power of the military to defraud and kill a non-fake. Wu is a talented general, reputable in Jiangnan area. If his story gets out, it may bring you undeserved trouble. Salary approvals continue. So, you've absorbed her original, haven't you? Nod your head. It's not dead, the plague is alive. Like that, the fluid absorbs the power of the stomach. It's obvious. Smiling, he slowly nodded, that's right. I'm a little stronger now, he said. Use your fingers to simulate movement. It's just a little bit. Other people hear this. I also understood Ra and looked at the translation. There was joy and admiration in their eyes. They all know how strong they are. So, if the fluid absorbs the original of the non-stomach, how strong will he be now? Everyone is saying Trong Phi Caca. You're super strong now, aren't you? That's great. You're not a world champion. Let's see if AI can even disrupt our lives. Haha, the old man is too strong. Everyone is happy when I saw Zhang Yi become strong, so they feel safer. However, Zhang Yi is still worried about the investigation team from Jiangnam. After the death of the army, they can feel it. It has something to do with Zhangjing. Or when the situation in Tianhai City is resolved, they returned to the blizzard. I will definitely report on the epidemic. This is not good news for Zhang, because his strength is not so strong. The southern district didn't pay much attention to him either. But now, when he killed, he was in no danger and absorb her essence. Jiangnam Great Zone for sure. I wouldn't miss a character like him. He thought silently. Then they'll definitely send someone to call. In other words, maybe he's got to be a frontline. Continuously handle the risks. Always on the verge of danger. If not participating, he may be bound by the Jiangnan Great Zone. If the superiors in Jiangnan have a narrow center, it doesn't work for me. You can't serve others either. They may even take action against Zhang. I don't want to risk this ability. He needs to get the situation under control quickly. Can be accepted, no matter if you get caught by them or confront them. His people will not lose. He has to deal with them first. Take the initiative yourself. After many thoughts, he decided to cooperate with the investigation. He can achieve his goal. He told himself, I have to go on a trip now. Find the school bar to negotiate. After talking to people, Zhang Yi drove himself out of the hideout. Go to your base.